Ever pasted a messy spreadsheet into AI and thought, did that kill a job? The answer looks obvious, but the strangest thing AI removes may never appear in headcount. The tempting verdict is simple. AI just killed the junior analysts. That fear makes sense because junior work is exactly what AI demonstrations make look disposable. Merge mismatched files, clean fields, check totals, refresh the report nobody admits reading. If software handles all that, where does tomorrow's senior analyst learn to distrust a beautiful mistake? Jobs rarely disappear the instant a tool arrives. Employers can quietly change the doorway first. Research on American junior software developer vacancies after ChatGPT's release shows what that can look like. Junior vacancies fell roughly 14 to 15% relative to senior vacancies. Mostly, employers demanded more experience for the same titles instead of inventing new names. Same door. Higher step. The surviving roles didn't disproportionately demand AI skills. They emphasized problem-solving, communication, and detail. AI wasn't merely adding a prompt checklist. It was raising the minimum human bar. That sounds backward. Shouldn't AI help beginners most? It often does. At a Fortune 500 software company, an AI assistant transformed customer support work most for novices. Productivity rose 34% for novice and lower-skilled agents, with little effect on top performers. Workers with 2 months of tenure performed like unsupported workers who had been there for 6. That isn't a vanished job, it's a shortened runway. But the long runway wasn't only inefficiency. It was where judgment accumulated. Every reconciliation teaches which source breaks. Every bad forecast leaves a small scar. Remove those repetitions, and a beginner can become fast before becoming reliably skeptical. Maybe that's acceptable if AI's analysis is better. A financial research study tested that hope. Researchers examined analysts using an AI platform launched by FactSet in 2023. AI-assisted reports cited 40% more distinct sources, covered 34% more topics, and used 25% more advanced methods. Richer, broader, more sophisticated. And their forecast errors rose 59%. That isn't better analysis. That's a better-dressed wrong answer. So the burden doesn't disappear. It moves from producing the answer to verifying it. AI creates faster work. It can also create faster inspection work wearing nicer shoes. The next problem has a name that sounds like hostile geography: the jagged technological frontier. A field experiment gave GPT-4 to 758 consultants at Boston Consulting Group. Across 18 tasks inside AI's frontier, users completed 12.2% more work and finished 25.1% faster. Inside the fence, it was a rocket. Then came one realistic strategy task outside the frontier, where AI struggled. AI users were 19 percentage points less likely to reach the correct answer. Worse, the responses could still sound coherent. Jagged means capability changes unpredictably from task to task, even when the surface looks similar. You don't know you crossed the cliff until the answer breaks. Now the junior is expected to catch faulty assumptions before fully learning how those assumptions fail. That's the apprenticeship paradox. The helper also removes practice. BCG researchers found another twist. Juniors sometimes became the Gen AI coaches for senior colleagues, but their tactics often changed immediate routines rather than identifying broader risks in the system. The researchers called these learning failures. Knowledge moved upward, but risk awareness didn't always follow. A workflow can spread faster than the judgment needed to govern it. Meanwhile, analysis itself can migrate into jobs that once handed it to juniors. In more than 800,000 American ChatGPT work messages, 43.5% of occupation-specific requests concerned work outside the user's own occupation. Someone can draft their own research or model instead of sending a request downstairs. The task wasn't fully automated. It was absorbed by the neighboring job. That could let firms staff leaner and increase expectations, but possibility isn't proof. We don't yet have broad causal evidence that AI has erased junior finance and consulting cohorts. The stronger hiring warning currently comes from adjacent software roles, not a universal analyst collapse. Confidential work also can't enter any random chatbot. The approved tool, policy, and contract matter. And AI can't own the consequences of a bad recommendation. People and firms still do. So AI may not kill the junior analyst first. It can kill the apprenticeship underneath. The old bargain was unglamorous work in exchange for repetitions, context, and eventually judgment. Once those repetitions shrink, a polished portfolio may prove prompting ability without proving line-by-line understanding. The replacement must be designed practice, manual model builds, source audits, assumption checks, and supervised challenges to AI. The evidence points to a changed role: less raw production, earlier verification, harder framing, and higher entry standards. The survivors won't just operate AI, they'll need enough protected practice to know when it's confidently lost. So when one paste produces a perfect report, ask who learned enough to doubt it. Subscribe for more quiet technology explainers.